talk now about how you can use grammar, and in particular how you can use a knowledge of sentence diagramming to figure out when sentences really mean more than one thing, and how to get clear about just what the alternate meanings might be in a single sentence. And to do this, we'll look at a sentence in the Constitution of the United States, a somewhat modified version of Article 1, Section 8, to show how a knowledge of grammar can help you understand ambiguities that are built into certain sentences. So the sentence in question is, Congress shall have power to collect taxes, to pay the debts, and provide for the general welfare of the United States. Okay, now that sentence can mean, as we're going to see, two things, and it depends on what we do with this stuff down here. Now, what's clear, first of all, is that Congress is the subject, shall have is the verb, power is the object, the direct object, what is had, power. And it's also clear that that this power is the power to collect taxes. So this infinitive phrase, to collect taxes, is certainly functioning as an adjective to modify power. What kind of power? The power to collect taxes. That's what kind of power. So this is an adjective. And now the way it's diagrammed here, everything else, these infinitive phrases, to pay debts and to provide for the general welfare, these are functioning, as the diagram shows, adverbially. That is, they are saying why these taxes may be collected. Why may, and that's an adverb question, right? Why may these taxes be collected? Well, two reasons are given: to pay debts and to provide for the general welfare. That's why. And so if this is the way we diagram the sentence, that might mean that the only power granted to Congress by this clause is the power to collect taxes. And that all this stuff is just saying under what conditions Congress shall have the power to collect taxes. It can collect taxes for two reasons. Remember, because this is why questions. It can collect taxes to pay debts, and it can collect taxes to provide for the general welfare. But under this reading, maybe it couldn't collect taxes in order to buy the president a nice watch when he retires, unless somehow that were construed as contributing to the general welfare, because you don't want a lot of angry ex-presidents running around. But the main thing here is, if you construe it this way, then there's one power granted, the power to collect taxes. But there's a problem, and that is that it could be construed another way. That is, maybe these infinitive phrases, to pay debts and to provide for the general welfare, maybe they aren't adverbial. And we can see this if we rediagram it in the other way that one could diagram this sentence. You can try and figure out what that would be while I'm doing it here. So if we have to get a little bit fancy here. If we put the collect taxes up here, now what I've just done here, I haven't changed what this to collect taxes is doing. It's still functioning adjectively. It's still answering the question, which power? The power to collect taxes. That's which power. So that's the same. But what I have done here is altered the diagram to make these two infinitive phrases just like this one. That is, instead of having these two infinitive phrases functioning as adverbs saying why these taxes can be collected, now they're functioning as adjectival phrases, listing now three different powers: the power to collect taxes, the power to pay debts, and the power to provide for the general welfare. That's three powers instead of one. So now what these infinitive phrases are doing, instead of functioning as adverbs modifying to collect, which is what they were doing in the earlier diagram, now what they're doing is functioning as adjectives modifying power. Instead of answering the question, collect taxes, why, they're now answering the question, which power? And now we have three powers: the power to collect taxes, the power to pay debts, and the power to provide for the general welfare. So and that would mean, the reason why you'd be interested in that is, now it seems that the power to collect taxes is unmodified. That is, you can collect taxes for any reason, even to buy the president a nice watch when he retires, because now this right seems to be absolute. There's no modifications. So the whole question of interpreting what this clause of the Constitution means hinges on whether these infinitive phrases are functioning adverbially to modify collect or adjectivally to modify power. And you thought grammar wasn't important.